At some point, every growing business runs into the same concern. What worked when everything ran through you suddenly stops working when it doesn't. And early on, your hustle covers all the gaps. You remember everything, you make judgment calls on the fly, and you adjust instinctively. But as the business grows, that approach becomes an issue. The reality is, if the business depends on you remembering, deciding, or correcting everything, it's already overloaded. That is where methodization comes in. What methodization really means? Well, it's not bureaucracy, it's not all the red tape, and it's not about turning people into robots, right? It's simply this: turning what works in your head into something the business can repeat without you. It's the process of capturing your best practices, standardizing critical steps, and reducing variability. It makes outcomes more predictable. Methodization doesn't remove flexibility. It removes the crazy chaos. Now, what happens when methodization is missing? Well, when businesses don't methodize, the symptoms show up pretty quickly. Every employee does things their own way. Results depend on who's working that day and how they feel. Training takes way too long and never really sticks. Mistakes repeat, quality drifts, owners stay stuck in the middle of everything. And it's tough because nothing really feels broken enough to shut the business down. But over time, the business becomes exhausting to run, not because people don't care, but because the business has no shared way of operating. This is where this example really matters. McDonald's. McDonald's began expanding in the 50s, but the food itself wasn't revolutionary. Hamburgers existed, fries existed, fast food already was a thing. What made McDonald's different wasn't the menu, it was their system. Ray Kroc didn't scale a restaurant, he scaled a method, a system. Every store followed the same food prep, the same equipment layout, the same cooking times, the same cleaning procedures, the same customer flow. That was all the same. Because the goal wasn't creativity at the counter. The goal was consistency at scale. A customer could walk into McDonald's anywhere and know exactly what to expect. And that didn't happen by accident. It happened because the business was methodized. And that system, not the burgers, is what allowed McDonald's to scale globally. Now, you don't need to run your business like a fast food chain, but the principle still applies. Methodization in a small business looks a lot like a consistent way your jobs are quoted, a standard process for onboarding employees, a clear checklist for delivering work, defined steps for following up and billing, and a repeatable way problems are handled. The reality is, most small business owners already have the methods. They're just undocumented. They're up in your head. They're unshared. They're inconsistent, which means the business only runs smoothly when you're involved. When you methodize the right things, several changes happen. Your training becomes easier. It's going to stick with them because you have the method, the system to make it happen. The mistakes from the employees are going to decrease. Employees are going to gain more confidence. They're going to be able to make better decisions on their own. Quality is going to improve. Owners regain time and mental space. And instead of answering the hundreds of questions over and over and over again, it's not control, it's leadership. Now, this is what methodization is not. It's not documenting everything all at once. It's not over engineering some simple tasks. If it only takes 3 steps, 5 steps, that's fine. Just get them out of your head and onto paper. It's not removing common sense. It's not killing initiative. And the reality is, you're only going to methodize what repeats, what matters, what breaks often, what affects the customer experience, and what affects your cash flow. You don't have to be perfect. You just start with the pressure points. Now, methodization doesn't come first in the climb blueprint because you need clarity first. You need to know where you're going. And then you need to show where you're different. Once you know who you serve, how you stand out, and what actually works, methodization is going to lock it in. And with the climb blueprint, methodization is all about protecting your progress. It ensures that improvements don't disappear the moment you step away. It's how your business is going to move from effort to execution, from chaos to consistency, and from dependence to durability. Now, here's the reality. Every growing business owner eventually faces. If you don't build the systems, your stress level becomes the system. Methodization is how you replace memory with structure and constant correction with consistency. It's not flashy, but it is foundational. And without it, growth always costs more than it should. Now, if this idea of methodization resonates, or you're not sure what needs to be methodized or systematized and what doesn't, if you're tired of answering those hundreds of questions thousands of times each week, then the Climb Blueprint will matter to you. We're currently taking applications for the next cohort. Seats are limited, but we're going to help you gain clarity and what makes your business different, sharpen your positioning, build the systems that support the difference, and stop competing in ways that drain you. You'll find the link in the show notes. And hey, if that's just too much for you and you just want to talk about the most pressing thing right now, I'd love to chat with you. Schedule a free call. We'll sit down and discuss what is bugging you right now and how we can help you move forward. Hey, thanks for listening to the Business Growth Made Simple. See you next time.